Hi everybody, welcome to yet another community question. So today, what are we going to talk about? Well, that's very simple. We're going to talk about what is the most important part of a game to you. So when you get that box set in, take like Necromunda that we're working on here today. Putting these guys together, they're pretty hard. Is it the miniatures? Is it the rules? Is it the components? Is it good gameplay? There's a lot of different variances to a lot of people. Can you have mediocre gameplay but fantastic thematic pieces that just really suck you into the game, and even though it's not a great game, make it such a positive experience? So I'm always anxious to hear what your thoughts are. My thoughts are, I always find that the most important part of a game to me is twofold. Of course you want it to be good, but I think most games go out that aren't horrible. Yes, there are some out there that are just absolutely nightmares, but you kind of can figure that out pretty quickly. Most games that come out are decent games. They may not be your type of game, but they may be somebody else's type of game. I always find that for me, the most important part I always figured out, I can work around anything as long as I can understand what the game's about. And that's the rule book. There are just plenty of times, especially in what I do, where I have to try to learn a game to a degree and then go in front of a camera and play a game, where I find that learning a game is the hardest part, especially when you're trying to learn 4 or 5 different games at a time. And especially go in front of a camera, because if you totally mess up the game, which we do quite a few times, you know, it takes away from somebody's experience, or it takes away from what the game truly is. We had this happen with Cthulhu Wars. We misunderstood something, and when we went and played it live, even though we had a great time and the game was a lot of fun, we missed something very key in the component, and we even got admonished by the publisher for making the video. You know, understanding a rule book. That's why a lot of times, if there's a book that I don't understand or something, I will tend to go to somebody like Rodney or Joel. You know, my God, it sounds like every time I talk on here, it sounds like an advertisement for those two guys. But, you know, there's a couple of guys out there that I'll go to and watch, you know, especially Watch It Played, where they take, and it's just, they do a wonderful job of explaining something, and I'm able to understand it a little better, especially if it's a not well-written rule book. There are other times where, you know, I'll watch somebody like Joel that'll go over some of the rules, but just give me enough that I know, oh, well, I remember he talked about this in a rule book, especially if I'm having a hard time understanding a rule book. I always find that I enjoy a game a lot better if the rule book is clean, clear, and explains everything, because it kind of gets you. It's kind of almost like it's like a commercial for the game. It gets you kind of hyped up when you start learning about the different things in a game. Oh wow, after that turn you do this, and then you do that, and then they'll show you an example of a turn, and you go, oh my God, this seems a lot of fun. I can't wait to get this to the table. And that's why a good, clean, well-written, well-documented, explains the components rule book means the world, especially to somebody like me that shows off a lot of games. It makes it easier and more enjoyable. It makes the game really easy to explain, and if you have something that you're kind of confused about, you can find it very easy if the rule book is written very well. So as far as I'm concerned, the most important part of a game a lot of times is the rule book. So that's my thoughts on this week's question. What are yours? I look forward to hearing and reading all your wonderful comments. And as always, put them below and let me know what your thoughts are. And that's why we do things here like community review. I have a community question, community review. That was 1,000 years ago, wasn't it? I think so. Maybe we should do that again. Anyways, until next time, I'm Rob Warren. We'll see you soon.